listening to Redneck.
Hey vegan cyclist, I've got a killer workout for you to do on the trainer indoors that will 100% pass the time way easier than just conventional workouts, right? Certain intervals are really good for fitness, but if you can't get your mind around them because you're on the trainer and you're just dreading doing them, right? Not doing them isn't going to give you any result, okay? So this set of intervals, two 20-minute intervals, is fantastic because you make changes to the data every single minute. All right. Now you can use speed, you can use cadence, you can use heart rate, you can use power, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever metric you have, you can use in this workout. Now it's going to take a little bit of playing around with to find out exactly how you increase this throughout the time. But you start with a 10-minute warm up. Zone 2 to 3, whatever, don't really overthink it. You're just going to get on the bike, you're going to start rolling around on the trainer, on the rollers, whatever it is, kind of get warm, okay? Now, you're going to start, as soon as that 10 minutes done, you're going to start with your first 1 minute of 20 for this 20-minute block, okay? Now, the 1 minute intervals are going to start at a low intensity and move up to a high intensity. And you're going to need to find the perfect way to increase these to where the first one is super easy, but the last one is super hard, okay? Now for me, I use power. So I start out at 150 watts average for that first minute. The second minute, I average 160 watts. The third minute, I average 170 watts. Now I'm hitting lap every single time, so that each minute is its own little effort, right? 150 I start with, I end off at 350. And so going through that every minute just gets harder and harder and harder and harder. And by that 20th minute, I'm basically all out, everything I can to hold 350 watts for that, right? Now what's really cool about this is it's not just about the fitness and the endurance or the exercise. It's also about managing your power output. So to be able to average 150 watts, it's kind of hard to do. I got to really use good pedal strokes and really focus. And that focus helps the time pass. Now, if you don't have power, you can do this with cadence. Now you could maybe say start at 50 RPMs and then the second minute 55 and then 60 and then 65 and 70 and 75. And so for you might end up getting to where you're having to do 130 RPMs, 140 RPMs on that last minute, which is going to be really tough. If you're doing speed, going to be a little bit different, but you're going to have to find, okay, I start out at 17 miles an hour and every minute I increase it by 1 mile an hour. If you're doing heart rate, you can do that by, say, every minute I increase my heart rate by 5 beats per minute. Whatever it is, you got to find what works best for you, but the idea is every single minute you're going to slowly increase the intensity of that minute. Now when that 20 minutes is done, you're going to do a 5-minute spin, cool down, and start this all over again. If you don't have 60 minutes, you can just do the first section, but I really recommend doing this twice because the amount of time that you have in high intensity is pretty low, so getting 2 of these back to back is awesome. After you've done your second block of 20-minute, 1-minute intervals, right? Your 20 1-minute intervals, then you can end off with a 5-minute cool down and call it a day. And dude, I'm telling you, this is going to pass the time so fast because you're having to make changes every single minute. So it's such this little bite-sized goals that help you, just get to the next step, just get to the next step, just get to the next step. Now again, for me, power works perfect, but there are times where sometimes if it's maybe a rest week or I'm not really wanting to go hard, I'll do this with cadence, just solely on cadence, so that I'm having to spin such a high cadence. I've even done this with just my gear ratio, where I'll go through and I'll do every minute I change the gear. Whatever it is, whatever you can do, make these small little increments in your data. But the idea is that the first one, super easy. The last one, super hard. Almost not even possible to do, right? You should just be barely able to do that last one. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to figure out what that means for you and what that looks like. But dude, this is a killer workout. I hope you enjoy it. I know I do. As always, guys, Vegan Cyclist, yeah.